Ian Machado Garry is taking on Islam Makhachev. And I don't know what the most thoughtful question is. I'm curious, if you were training Ian Machado Garry for this exercise, what are you focused on in training camp, knowing you're fighting a guy that is just so well versed at everything? And what are your thoughts about Ian's chances?
Look, well, first off, I mean, obviously you got to get the wrestling squared away, which isn't easy to do because the guy's at a super high level. But there is a big size discrepancy, Ken. You know what I mean? Like he is long and lanky. I think he's awkward. You know, he's not like the most technically sound. And I think that actually is going to give Islam trouble, you know, because I think he's just a little quirky with everything. And he's got the size, I think, to give this guy trouble. He's big. Ian Garry's a big kid. This is a big 170-pounder. So I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But Islam is so squared away everywhere, and he's dedicated. You know, puts the time in with training and all that stuff. So I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a really, really good matchup.
Well, I think Ian Machado Garry will lead the dance when it comes to promoting this fight. And I'm sure you've spoken to Ian before, interviewed him. He has something. He has something special. When he came to the UFC, I had my concerns because this first couple of fights was nowhere near where he's at now, right? He was fighting B-level fighters and getting clipped at times. And so I was like, I don't know if this guy's going to be the star that he thinks he's going to be, but I've seen an evolution of him since then. And also in that, having spoken to him before and interviewed him, he's got a true, real, genuine, it's not artificial. It's a real belief in himself. And that's always so powerful and dangerous. And he has that. So I always think he has a chance. Always think he has that opportunity. I think he will lead the dance. He will find some interesting things to say. He will find something to kind of take digs at Islam and try to find a trigger right there. But surprisingly, I like this little bit of trash talking that we're seeing from Islam. I think I saw something this morning where Islam said something about the only thing Charles Oliveira is going to teach you is how to tap very fast. And that was kind of snappy from Islam.
I think the odds, because of the style, favors Makhachev probably. Because of the styles. I think Islam Makhachev have maybe more ways to win the fight. So if I'm just thinking rational, according to the odds, I think it favors Makhachev. But Ian Garry definitely has all the chance also on his side to do it. He's a very good striker. He's very long. He's great a great grappler as well. But he need, I think, to find a way to keep the fight standing, you know, and to use his style to his own advantage. But Islam Makhachev is, stylistically, he's a freaking nightmare to fight for anyone. He's, I think, right now, the best pound for pound on the planet.
Islam and Garry, welterweight title fight. You did have the one welterweight fight up there, so you got a little bit of experience up in that weight class. But just what's your thoughts on that fight, the build-up, all that? I mean, that's a pretty big fight that's headlining your card.
I think it's a really good fight, and I think Ian is going to surprise a lot of people with how talented he is and how skillful he is. Actually, I trained with him for the Carlos Prates fight, so I'm excited to go see him perform as well. And I think he gets it done. So we'll see.
One plays out. The interesting thing about that fight, because I kind of looked it up, and I think this is kind of common knowledge, but Gary's going to be like the biggest opponent he's fought as far as like the height and reach. So I do wonder if Garry can kind of keep him on the outside or stuff those takedowns. What do you make of the main event?
Yeah, I don't know, because Garry is tall, he's long, but he's not like a Morales where he's like big and strong as well. Like Ian's not putting guys out with one shot. He doesn't really have that capability, so I don't think it's going to be too hard for Islam to get him down. Like, yeah, Ian's definitely long, but Ian's tall, but his reach is only 74 inches, so it's not like he has a
a crazy reach. Yeah,
where it'd be a lot harder to get past his arms. I just think it's one-way traffic for Islam. I think he's going to get him down, and I think he will sub him. And I've seen stuff. Ian's not the heaviest 170-pounder either. Like, I think he fought in California where they release your weights for the fight night. I've seen one where I think he only gained like 11 pounds. Like, he was like 181 in the back. Like I was like 198, like my last fight in the back, you know, like some of us 70, like we get big, and he's just not. And I'm not saying that means a whole lot, but it definitely means something, you know. So yeah, he is tall, he is quote unquote long, but yeah, I don't think Islam's going to have too hard of a time.
Islam Makhachev stands 16 wins away from shattering Anderson Silva's untouched record. For 13 years, nobody has challenged Silva's 16-win streak. Not Kamaru Usman, not Merab Dvalishvili, not a single elite fighter. One more victory against Ian Garry and Islam breaks into history. But this isn't just another title defense. 7 of those consecutive wins would come across 2 different divisions, placing Islam in an exclusive group of only 4 champions who have ever achieved this feat. The legacy implications are staggering. A single victory doesn't just secure the welterweight strap, it rewrites Islam's place in MMA history as one of the pound-for-pound greats of all time. Yet here sits Ian Machado Garry, 6'3", impossibly long and exactly the kind of stylistic nightmare that makes analysts pause. Experts openly call this a nightmare matchup not because Garry is the favorite, but because his physical profile contradicts everything Islam has dominated. Garry's reach, height, and striking prowess create real questions Islam hasn't fully answered before at welterweight. Multiple top coaches and analysts who trained with Garry believe he can surprise people with his complete skill set and high fight IQ. The conversation isn't whether Garry can win, it's whether Islam's wrestling pressure and grappling dominance will overcome a challenger who, for the first time, matches him in size and length. Islam's path to victory is straightforward but unforgiving: takedown control. Experts unanimously agree that Garry's foundation is built on keeping the fight standing and using his reach advantage to pick Islam apart. The problem is Garry isn't a finisher. He doesn't have that explosive power to end fights with one shot. He's never been the heaviest 170-pounder either. In one California fight, he weighed just 181 pounds backstage. Islam showed up at 198. Garry's cardio held up against Rakhmonov, which deserves credit, but Islam's wrestling pressure is an entirely different animal. Once Islam secures that first takedown, submission opportunities open immediately, and Garry's submission defense becomes the critical variable. But Garry's best defense isn't what he does on the ground, it's his footwork and movement. Islam himself acknowledged in camp that Garry runs too much, forcing him to chase constantly. Chael Sonnen pushed back on this narrative, arguing that circling and pulling back to exchange is fundamentally different from running away, especially in MMA where movement can actually make a fighter harder to wrestle. This semantic difference matters because it changes how we evaluate Islam's pressure. If Garry can stay off his back for even 2 rounds through intelligent footwork and range management, he can legitimately win a decision. Islam will need to be perfect with his timing and patience, 2 things that occasionally escape him when he's confident. The real test for Islam is whether Garry's size, skill, and complete game plan can force him to expend enough energy chasing that his offensive wrestling slows down in later rounds. Garry has all the tools: legitimate striking, elite grappling fundamentals, reach for days, and the mental fortitude to compete. But Islam Makhachev has never faced true adversity at welterweight. He enters as a stylistic nightmare for everyone else in the division. 1 win shatters history. 1 loss rewrites the narrative entirely. That's why this fight matters beyond the title on the line.